Welcome back to some professional amateur StarCraft. We've got two players on the high end of the skill spectrum. Now, maybe at the top, depending on how you define it, you'll probably recognize at least half of them. In the top right, I think appropriately, Skeptic. And in the bottom left, playing Terran for one of the first times, apparently just starting after 21 years of StarCraft, starting to play Terran, finally turning to the dark side this year. Still solidly in the Meta Leagues, but bringing his creative flair and disgusting cheese and confusing decision-making and handsome play to the Terran race. It is the Sewer Mermaid, Florencio. And immediately Skeptic is skeptical, but wait. He's looking for Proxy Rex. He's been Proxy Rex before, maybe by the same man, but guess what? He's not gonna find it. His scouting was not nearly thorough enough. You gotta check behind every mineral, beside every gas geyser, at the edge of the third, and even above it. But he did not. He had reason to be a skeptic, but unfortunately, it's not going to help him. We will see. A Reaper's on the way out. The SCV is going to lead the charge. So, pretty standard one Rex expand, a Reaper expand. Even being diligent, but not diligent enough. Florencio has a Reaper at home. He has a tactical scouting barracks on the opposite side. Obviously for ghosts. Wait. What? Okay. Why am I surprised by this? It's a command center. Reaper's on the way. Another Reaper trying to dip into the main. It's going to be one SCV, one Reaper against just a single Reaper from Florencio. He will be able to retreat. The Reaper's on the chase. The SCV headed out. Not going to be able to absorb more. Unfortunately, First Blood going to be drawn. And that means there's no units back in Florencio's base. Or orbitals as well. There is an engineering bay. If it was anyone else, this would be Bronze League heroes. Actually, that's not really relevant because even if it is. But the SCVs are pulled off the line. They go for the surround, the catching kill. The command center is building. It looks to be a planetary fortress rush. Now, the simple counter to a planetary fortress is putting like one unit underneath so it cannot land because, you know, Terran regulations. And all that. But does he decide where's it going? Where are we going? Where are we headed? The Reapers will be able to push some units away. Marines in production. The factory is nearly done. This could put a wrench in his production here. More Reapers coming in. We gotta go to the Skeptic action cam. Suddenly he sees the Reapers here. He sees a command center. Not really a strong response out of Skeptic. The Reapers look like they will all die, but they take out several of the Marines. How many more Reapers are there? The SCV is not there. There's nothing to really kill this. It's a race against the clock. The SCVs have not been pulled. He's gonna have to lift his buildings. The planetary is finishing, but how much HP will it have when it does? There's an SCV. He's just gonna go ahead and build a factory here. Why wouldn't you? So the rush has begun. Florencio actually micros back. The planetary is nearing completion. If he can just get it burning. It's in the orange. It's about to complete. It's so close. It finishes. Is there enough planetary micro? He's building an SCV. The planetary going to work. The splash damage ripping through the Marines. More Marines pop out. Is it too much? The SCV is nearly done. The last Marines! If he had just pulled like 2 SCVs, he would not have this problem. Pride before the fall. The planetary. The SCVs pop out of the planetary. He didn't even bring the one that was building. The production is flying away. Liberators don't counter planetary fortresses. One of the few things they don't. A factory's on the way. Why build a base in your base when you could build a base in his, says Florencio. And suddenly, there's no production in the main. He's evacuating to his natural here. He's going from the old world to the new, because this is Florencio's town now. Dozens of APM for both players. Still well under the triple digits mark. It's not... Oh! He's got us... I've never seen a reactor stolen. And surprise! It turns its coat. Florencio takes the reactor, thanking him for his service. What a... Oh, but and he gets blocked in because those are his SCVs. The biggest brain for both sides. I love it. I don't... Oh. Now, the fact that the depots are confusing right now. The reactor is stolen. The depot is still confusing. There are now 5 SCVs. There are no other units at the moment. Hellions being produced. He's building reactor Reapers to keep Skeptic out of his own main. Knocks the Marine into the planetary. Planetary dunks at home. Hellions here. The depots are under fire. The SCVs under much more literal fire. They're on the chase. They're coming in. Meanwhile, Skeptic has taken all of this and he's expanding to the bottom right, so he's doing pretty well for himself. The depot keeps him out, but what does he have to actually keep the Hellions from coming down the ramp? Very little. The base is now spread over the entire right-hand side of the map. The SCV is being transferred into a hazardous work environment. Though that's a bit optimistic on the mule drops, and also begging the question, where did he get all those mules? But the SCVs are on the run. There's plenty of money in the bank and gas for both sides. Neither... Well, actually, Florencio's a bit supply blocked. He's been a little bit focused on, you know, killing everything. But despite all this, Skeptic still has 22 workers. A tank completes. Everybody knows you can't attack with a tank unless it's sieged. So it's only fair. The mules continue to mine. The Reaper's on the way down. Florencio, he didn't lose anything, so he's still supply blocked. Skeptic is long distance mining on the Trail of Tears here. The Hellions on the way back. Oh god, why? Why? The SCV, oh, 4 of them. It's literally all of them. Oh my god. He's just hand delivering not just minerals, but his own death. He's trying, Florencio tries to dive on the tank. That was a bit optimistic. And it looks like finally Skeptic has stabilized. He will, the SCVs banging on the door. We demand equal rights. It's like, sir, you don't live here. You live over on the other district. Okay. Can't you tell? You're at the wrong city hall. But. So now Skeptic will kill his betrayal reactor that was once his, taken from him, and now dead. He can soon be sieged from within his own main. There's a medevacs out. Florencio just gonna go ahead and expand to... You know what? It's easier to say where he isn't expanding. The double drop across the map. There's a grand total of nothing. Well, there's 5 Marines and some SCVs. A tank will move its way up. Yep, the tanks are going to be a problem. Does either side have a starport? In fact, Skeptic does. He can't land here because he built a bunch of add-ons where he'd usually put his units. But guess what? He's in the main. The counterattack. Pretty much the only real mining for Florencio under siege. But don't worry. This will free up some supplies so he's not supply blocked. He's trying to escape. He will. Deja vu! Another set of SCVs will escape from their main. And this is the most equal base trade we've seen in a while. Literally, both main bases are being sieged. Simultaneous. In fact, the natural now. You can left. He does. He picks up. Another base is being taken. Will Skeptic be inspired? Florencio may not know he can lift his buildings, which is a little confusing because he lifted a command center into his opponent's base earlier. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Ooh. Big hits. Now, the tank is still down there. He's target firing. Oh my god. Skeptic is ahead on supply. He now has 1, 2, and 3 bases. Florencio has 3.5 bases. Maybe, okay, well, the supply is in favor of Skeptic, but Florencio seems to still have the initiative. The ever-important engineering bay is under fire. Both players have spent their banks. Okay, they've spent them. They're gone. Florencio is going to try to siege now the third, but guess what? Skeptic has preempted this by simply just building all his buildings instead of a third command center. The sneaky devil. There are no upgrades at all for anyone, and none in production. No stim, no combat shield, no cloak of any kind or anything like that. In fact, Florencio has yet to build a starport, so that's happening. This is... the barracks are staring each other down here angrily. The Marines decide to get in on the action and realize they don't fly. Big misstep there. Oh. Okay. The siege continues. Florencio continues to work his way down from the main. Gold to beating Master players. The high diamond low Masters. Thank you for that. The siege continues. There's so much of the map to work with, and by this rate, nobody's gonna mine out of the main, so we can just do a whole ring around New Repugnancy. By the way, I need to spend a little bit of time, just an aside. New Repugnancy, not a good name. Not a good name for a map. Any amount of repugnancy is not good. Just putting it out there. Anyways, the drops come in the siege position. He's got 3 tanks, 2 Hellions, and half a dozen SCVs. Where did the starport go? Starport building another reactor. The medevacs are still on the field. So Skeptic is now in the bottom right. It's like we're playing a game of Risk over here as opposed to Starcraft. Florencio has most of the bases in the top, on the top here. Skeptic is working his way in the bottom right. The worker count 39 to 19 in favor of the sewer mermaid. But his units, I mean, he has some, he's got the variety pack here. 5 tanks, 3 Hellions, 3 Reapers, 2 Cyclones, and some SCVs. And remember, some of his, what? Okay. A dangerous path. He's gonna try to drop on the, he does know there are other tanks. Will this work? Oh, the Marine bombs. Unfortunately, the rest of the Marines want to get in on the action, making this a little bit less cost-effective than he might have hoped for. Okay. Now, Skeptic beaten back down. What does the unit's loss look like? Skeptic has lost significantly more, especially in the way of minerals, but he's recovered relatively well. Like, it's quite impressive. Quite impressive. That Cyclone, there are no upgrades. There's still no upgrades of any kind. I might... Usually by the 13-minute and 37-second mark, you got at least, like, concussive shells or something, but nope. So Florencio is now building 4 wrecks. Wait, nope, that's just... He's got Home Depot over here, and there's a starport. His very first one. The Cyclone is stuck! It was stuck in between the Hellions and the tank, and it wouldn't... And now he's driven him back with a single Liberator, looking angrily down on the siege tanks. So now we're here. The Liberator chases him back up his own ramp / his own ramp. The Cyclone's gonna try to find an angle, but Skeptic moves up into position. The barracks sees all. Because Florencio, well, he does have 4 orbitals now, but he's gonna try to siege up into his own main. I'm not sure how valuable this location is anymore, since it's traded hands, but there's plenty of Marines still there's a fusion core for Florencio. Battlecruisers, of course, the icing on the cake in many games. What? I mean, I guess the Lexington Rockets of the Liberator. That's actually what they're called. Fun fact. Trying to take down the barracks. Not going to succeed. Whereas the Typhoon Pods. Yep, also the name from the Cyclones. Don't quite get the Liberator. Wait, where did the Liberator go? Did I lie? No. There you go. But he sends out a drop. He's going to search for the only base that doesn't truly matter now. Somehow this tank can hit the planetary. That drop was not great. So he's not going to get any more Marines back into his former main. 2 battlecruisers on the way for Florencio. Skeptic, he does not have any vision of the top left. It is essentially entirely undefended till these battlecruisers come out. But he is laser focused on dislodging these tanks. We have, for the very first time, and all at the same time, interestingly, Stim combat shields and smart servos. Smart servos for the transformation speed on Vikings, Thors, and of course Hellions. The only problem with that is that he does not have any Viking Thors or, of course, Hellions. So, interesting choice. Skeptic, going to work. Florencio looks like he wants to break out, but the battlecruisers could tear everything wide open. Oh my. The Liberators will siege. The Cyclone's in kind of an awkward spot here. They're trying to come up, but they are quite fragile. One will be microed back. The repair is there, but it's not enough for the one. Florencio did try to expand to the natural of Skeptic. Well, I don't think we can really call it his base anymore. I feel like that ship has sailed. Okay, that's a very dead base. Okay. Alright, then. But the battlecruiser count. At some point, the battlecruiser... The tanks will have been backed into the corner of the map. He's really desperately trying to retake his base. We will reclaim our homeworld, and with it, our legacy. And just like, spoilers by the way, and just like Artanis, not realizing there's a much more important threat to consider. Surprise! The battlecruisers are here! And now what? Marines, well, does he go forward or does he go back? Everybody knows you can't actually fight battlecruisers. He has to be thinking, I wonder where he built those starports. He decides, I'm gonna attack into the tanks. Right seconds before 1-1 is done. Okay. So that's gonna leave him in an awkward position when it comes to dealing with battlecruisers. But Vikings are in production. Is Yamato done? There is no Yamato. Eventually, Skeptic will reestablish his main. He has reclaimed his lost territory. But does it matter? The worker counts are dead even. Barracks in the air. There's not enough to kill the battlecruisers, but maybe if he brought all his Marines together, it would be. The Vikings are on the chase. One Viking not gonna cut it unless Florencio just kind of... Oh, okay. The main base is... It's all clear. We got it. Good job, everybody. Is tactical jump? It's back up. More battlecruisers making their way across the map. Florencio jumps to reinforce. Suddenly, Skeptic is all over the map. The Liberators find the bases. I think an SCV tried to build a command center here. Florencio doesn't have that much mining, but he has plenty of money in the bank. He can build... How many battlecruisers are in the bank right now? Enough. The answer is enough. Oh, you dead. You very dead. So, okay, that Liberator had a moment of panic, and if the heart attack didn't kill him, the battlecruisers... Yep. Skeptic leaves the game with more supply, but less spirit. Thank you, Sir Monster Cakes, the third Esquire, for that sub. If you like Florencio, make sure to check him out on Twitch. Good luck spelling the name. If this is somewhere with a link, you can find that much easier. Yeah. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't clean. But technically, that's a Terran victory. So, yep.